Okay, the time is 1:55 p.m. September 28th, 2025. I'm allowed to do this. First of all, I can never click on the news app. And secondly, to do this action I'm taking right now is just as big of a deal to me. Anyone wants to know why, come speak to me personally. I'm very sarcastic. I know people would like to know more. People like to talk to each other, so I shouldn't be so rude. All right, this is this. These are not anti-fascist punks. These are not anarchist communists that Donald Trump and Joe Biden, who are on record for terrorism and aiding and harboring and abetting terrorists, spies, every last capital crime a president can commit. Donald Trump and Joe Biden committed it. Also, they're on historical world record in your college books. Joe Biden and Donald Trump are on historic record for treason, the highest crime in the land. Okay, so what you're seeing here are not anti-fascist punks. Okay, with their gas mask, that they'll never survive what I survived. No, but that's a whole nother, that's not even anything to talk about, because what I walk through is serious business. That is Palestinian Arabic mafia drug cartel when they dress up like they are Hamas terrorists. These are not anti-fascist punks. Antifa can be good. Antifa was good initially out of the Bay Area, but they became corrupted by the Arabic organized crime and the drug cartel. So these gimmick logo names that you're familiar with, anything in your US Western press that you're familiar with, is not the real thing. It is fake, and it's funneled and empowered through money from Arabic organized crime and drug cartels and Vladimir Putin's Russian mafia out of Moscow. You can hear the garage door 1513. I cannot say a word about this terrorist compound because I could get hurt by the evil military. Just to make some things clear here. So you can see all the little Palestinian wannabe Americans going to war. Okay, so they don't know about what war is. And this one is a really good example when they're wearing gas masks. They really don't know. I mean, this is Americans. Look. Big, bright pink gas mask, bicycle hat. What is this? Some hoodie. You can take the strings and just choke her to death. She doesn't need the gas mask. You can just choke her. Take the strings and choke the airflow off from her throat. There's some more little wannabe gas mask. She's about, what, 5'4". You could just knock her down and choke her in about 1 minute. As if you had to defend yourself from a little cartel Palestinian terrorist. She'd go fast. So these women in the United States that think they're going to war with their gas mask and their sweater hoodies right there waiting to be choked, well, go first. Any women that want to go to war and go to combat, ask for that. You don't send your women out to the front lines if you know war at all. Okay, so that is what's really happening in Portland. It is not punk rockers, communist. Here's some bands to reference: Conflict, Defiance, Discharge, some of the creators of anti-fascists, the creators out of the United Kingdom, Ireland and Scotland, the creators. It goes back further in their history with their monarch and how their monarch managed to stay a monarch while all the monarchies were being beheaded, like the French monarchy, the Russian monarchies. So British punk is a big thing, and I can't get sidetracked. We're into 5 minutes. So no, these are not a whole bunch of punk rockers. These are drug addicts. They're Americans. They're junkie addicts. They want to smoke pot. They want the drug cartel, Mexican, Latin, Colombian, Venezuelan, name it, Latin drug cartel. They want them to keep that free drugs going and legal drugs going in Portland. It's all about drugs. It's all about the drug habit. It's all about the easy money. And they want to think they're women soldiers with their sweater strings hanging out, a bicycle cap on, and a gas mask. She doesn't, like, that is pitiful. But this is the women in America going to war. These people in the U.S., they die so fucking quick. So, yeah, and you can see why. Okay, this is perspective of actual warfare, and as I do this, the garage door opens and closes, and I'm forbidden because it's actual serious combat here. I'm not trying to get my fucking ass hurt by talking about these fucking freaks here. They're not freaks, they're terrorists, and I am not allowed. Okay, so this one with the gas mask, with the chemical and biological gases they use here, will not survive these. No, so she can dress up like that one. Dressed up like Halloween. Okay, so that is not who Trump sent. The very same men that come in here. I've witnessed the combat of the good guys in physical combat with Trump's army, Trump's armed services. They come in here. That's all I'm allowed to say. Okay? That's who Trump said is going there to Oregon. That's not really why. Trump is sending a handful of them to a lake and a mountain, I'm not allowed to say where, to coordinate with time zones and geographical elevated mountain areas. So when one place is light and one place is dark, and you got the two mountains and you got some lakes, he got his army guys out of the Pentagon doing actual WMD warfare. And you thinking here that they're all here fighting these fucking idiots who are trying to attack our sovereign territory. They are classified as legally trying to attack the United States sovereign territory and security. Their basis for it is to free drug cartel kingpins and to free violent Muslim terrorists who take hostages, who have taken over an entire city block in Washington, D.C. One of the properties is 1509 S Street Northwest. They're Muslim Hamas terrorists. And they also open fire with machine guns and shoot babies in cribs, which they did in Israel. When they were taking the hostages, they murdered a baby or two right in its crib. So Americans dress up like these people, as you can see there, and fight for their freedom. It's really, really, really evil people here in the United States. No one's wondering that. You can see for yourself. But that is not why Donald sent his troops. Now, on my account, for years, it's always been Northwest Territory. This whole area from Alaska to Oregon, they want to take it as a territory for war, a region, they want to hold it. It has a lot to do with WMDs. It has a lot to do with stuff that's just not my grade, okay? I'm not in the calculus class like I told you. They want to keep that Northwest Territory, so he sent a whole bunch of dudes out of the Pentagon to go into these trucks. It looks like tour trucks, buses, vans, whatever it is. And they go and they coordinate it with Connecticut. And he's got the Jewish mob for Netanyahu working right over there with the Israeli mafia, organized crime, straight into Iran. Because remember, every time that Netanyahu sends his fake people, he's got his fake people. He sends them to Saudi Arabia. He's sending them to do the orders of Iran, who is right there. That's Iran. And Iran, through Saudi Arabia, control the drug cartels, okay? Where they fucked up is they thought they could take over the country of China. So these Hamas terrorists and these drug addicts that fight for the cartel have nothing and no one without the triad out of Asia, and have nothing and no one without Vladimir Putin. And guess who's been out of the papers and not humiliating the country of Russia anymore? Putin and all his politicians. And why is that? Because the good guys, who are, some of them are Russian, and they saved my life here, like I keep saying, the GRU came. They've finally got their idiot imbeciles, oligarchs, trying to take over Russia through the United States. Remember, everybody knows it through us. They got them to finally get off the TV, stop humiliating us. And as soon as they lose these Hamas terrorists and these drug addicts in the drug cartel, lose Putin, their king white man, who's funneling them all this money, Russian mafia money out of Moscow, and they lose Putin's WMDs, like I was saying, take the white guys out of the picture, you see them rising up thinking they're fighting ICE. Okay, ICE is their guys. Donald Trump's ICE, Donald Trump's military is their guys. They're fighting him, but they're all essentially fighting for the same thing. What they want is drug cartel. They want Saudi Arabia, Iran, not a white dictatorship. It's the only difference. Putin with Trump is going for the white dictatorship with Triad. And who's out of the picture? Triad and the white guys in Russia. There's good white guys in Russia, and I don't need to explain that. They're not going to have these oligarchs in their silk shirts with cocaine all over their nose and their shopping sprees humiliate Russia one more second. Russia is a former communist country. You need to look up your history. Okay, so that's what's really going on here. None of the real threat military is here. The real threat military was sent here and went off to another part of Oregon where I hit, and there's other parts that I don't know because it's too top secret. I'm telling you that, it's fact. But it's in the state of Oregon, and it coordinates across the country. So you got Oregon, you got Connecticut, and then I keep hitting the water. And you can get a lot out of my maps, and I go right over to the Middle East. So you got Oregon, Connecticut, Middle East. And that's the time zones, that's the mountains, elevator ranges, that's the shit that I'm not in the right math class, dude. I'm not in calculus, okay? And that is the threat, but it's not anymore. And so these guys that Trump sent, I'm orders of Putin to go to that woods to actually launch some real missiles, are worthless. It's worthless. And so these riots are just like the Disney, just like the illegal channel, electrical channels. It's all fake. And these people dressed up like Hamas terrorists and dressed up in gas masks actually do get gassed by the evil military. They gas Seattle and they gas Portland, and it's yellow like I saw on the first floor. And no, they don't live through that. She would rather be choked with those strings on her sweatshirt than think she's going to live through that yellow fog. And it comes to these areas, and some of this you can't control. It's called war. My job is to inform the public. Seattle, Portland get the yellow fog. They get it really bad. And these kind of idiots are the people that get killed, okay? Why is that? Because the evil military has no longer any desire for their people. This is their people. The evil military is neo-Nazi, white supremacist, Adolf Hitler, Mein Kampf military men. The evil military is also the country of Japan. They have no use for these kind of Americans still dressing up while they're high on drugs, announcing they're overthrowing the government when the government is already non-existent and overthrown. Why is that? Because Donald J. Trump and Joe Biden are in your college history books as guilty of treason. Now, this is really good. I have never been allowed to say this. I have never been allowed to say this about any and all church shootings. This one has an explosion. That's good. That happen are so good. The only thing I'm allowed to say is the good guys have to shut down the churches in the United States and Europe because they were so weaponized and militarized, as you can see. And the press will just keep saying whatever song and dance they want to say to cover up the fact that all their churches are blowing up and being shot to bits. The good guys put out martial law and they shut down the churches. I like to go to church. Not even I can go, and I can't talk about it, and I can't get in the way. It's not my department to tell the top boss what they can do, and the churches get shut down. This is really, really good. And you're gonna see stuff like that. It's evil military when this crap goes worse and worse and worse for Biden and Trump. Now, we can scroll down to the rest. It's just all their humans, it's all their people. There's more people dressed up. This is really good. He's dressed up like his little guerrilla group. This is super good, okay? He's one of the dictators that thought he could attack China with his gringo friends. Big mistake, okay? What has happened to him is really, really good. I don't want to get into it because I'm up to 15 minutes and I'm using words like good, bad, great, super. I don't have a lot of words at my disposal. But what I was allowed to say, and we're at 16 minutes, is this is super big fake crap. These people get gassed with yellow fog. It's really bad. The evil military does it. This is a very evil military that tried to attack our country. They come and they wipe out a lot of people in certain areas that they consider their people, that they consider have too much knowledge of them, that they consider of no use, that they don't need around. And then once they're done using weapons of mass destruction like yellow fog and nukes, they disappear into history, and they're very capable of it. And these kind of people are making that difficult for them, so they just kill them. Because at one time they were doing everything that the evil military told them. Okay, and now they're just all fighting them, right? Donald Trump's big attack on Oregon was fake. It wasn't for this. And this is not punks. Punks don't dress like Arab Muslim terrorists. This is not anarchist. This is not Antifa. This is not communist, rebel, anarchist punks dressed up like Hamas terrorists, okay? All right, bye.